Read Bookers. Today I'm going to review The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. If you've been following any of my book stuff for a while, you'll know I'm a huge fan of Ishiguro. I started with reading Never Let Me Go in college, and it just totally captured my imagination. I was so into it, and I wrote this really long, very nerdy paper on it, like way longer than it had to be, because I enjoyed it that much. And then I kind of took it upon myself. I read Remains of the Day, also super excellent. And Kazuo is an interesting author because he writes a different novel every time he comes out with something. And this newest book, The Buried Giant, is no exception to that rule. He has been interviewed about it several times since it came out, kind of labeling it himself in a way as fantasy. Because it does have very thick fantasy elements in it, but once again it's always just about people for his books. People in different times and different spaces. He's just such a master at doing that. I gave The Buried Giant 3 out of 5, just because it wasn't really engaging for me, but the message of the book was great. I mean, he just nails human emotion, and just knows how to write a novel. He's one of the greatest authors of our time, I think, and so I always enjoy reading what he has to write. I think just the plot of this novel that was just really slow at times. You could say that about Remains of the Day, though, and I would give that a 5 out of 5. That's just his writing style. He takes a long time to get to a point, but when he gets there, I mean, your mind is just blown. This one had it was very high fantasy. It starts with this very old couple who can't seem to remember anything about their past, really. They know that they love each other, they think that they had a son together, but they can't. It's like a mist is covering them. And so really intriguing at the start. I remember the first chapter or two I was very interested in what was going on. And then as we started to delve into like really high fantasy in the middle, it kind of just threw me off, and I wasn't able to engage with it as much as I wanted to. Like, it was not a page turner for me. But at the end I felt very satisfied by it. Kazuo is a very interesting author. He loses fans like every time he comes out with a new book, because each new book is always so different from from whatever he wrote last. But I think he's brilliant, and I enjoyed reading it as a whole. When I was done, I sat back and I was like, that was pretty good, but not a page turner. But if you're looking for a new interesting modern author to get into, I highly recommend Kazuo Ishiguro. He just writes some of the most interesting books. I mean, Remains of the Day was very slow, but its message was like, I don't know, just mind-blowing to me. Like, it made you feel like everything you could possibly ever want to feel. So I applaud him for being such a great author, especially in these modern times. So, Buried Giant, 3 out of 5. Not my favorite that I've read this year, or my favorite of his, definitely like my least favorite. But I don't know, there was just something about it at the end that felt satisfying. And the ending made me cry. So, it's just so sweet. And yeah, humanity. Ugh, stop it, humans. Feel free to pick that up if you're looking for something new, or any of his other novels. They're all fantastic. His short stories are great too. And that's all I have to say about that. Have a great day. Bye.